So guys, over the weekend, I would have participated in Victory Road Gaming's OTS Championship. Um, we would have finished 4-1 in Swiss and we made top 8, but however, in top 8 we kind of fumbled and dropped the ball. The deck I played was Azamina Orcust. It was pretty good throughout the day, if I don't say so myself. And without further ado, let's head into the profile, right? So, of course, we have the Orcust stuff we're starting with first. My favorite part of the deck. We have triple Gersu, fantastic, foolish burial on summon, ability to generate a token. Not much more to say about that, right? Then of course to pair it with, we have triple harp horror, another starter, and also an extender at the same time for the deck. Not as good as Gersu, because when you start with this you don't get the token or the extra body, so to say, but it's still pretty amazing. Of course, mandatory one-ups in my opinion. We have Symbol Skeleton, Nightmare, Krong, and Wand. Wouldn't change anything about these ratios. I think all of them work perfectly right now. I think Wand is seeing more play now because it's such an excellent card, because it enables you to bring out Krong during your opponent's turn and just check any extra deck monster in the game or how they're trying to play. Of course, moving on now, one of stuff, we have Babel, Crescendo, and then Honorary Orcust card, Foolish Burial. Again, great cards. Babel makes everything, all the Orcust names quick effects. Crescendo, it's a counter trap that is a omni negate that banishes the card that it negates, right? And then Foolish Burial is just another starter or extender in the deck. Whatever you want it to be at the time, it's there. So of course now, I think what made the deck and allow the Orcust stuff to just be so good was of course the Diabelsa stuff, or the threat of the Diabelsa stuff, right? So of course we have triple Black Witch, triple Wanted, fantastic card. A lot of people forgot what Black Witch does, that it's an inherent special summon, how it works, what it does. Wanted, way to get to the Black Witch. Draw phase Wanted became one of my favorite things to say during the day at the time of the tournament. And then of course other mandatory Azamina engine cards. We have the One Deception, One Hallowed, and then of course the newest honorary member of the Azamina engine, the Gaze of Timaeus. Again, this entire engine was fantastic. I think just the ability to just generate 2 Omni Negates from one engine in the same sequence, there's not much more you could say about that. So yeah, use it while it's here. Good cards is good cards. Moving on to the hand trap lineup, it was pretty standard, I think. We have 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Fualos, triple Imperm, and then of course the triple Impulse, because all our main deck monsters, extra deck monsters and stuff is dark. Imperm I think was a last minute change for me, because it was a ghost spell in the main before, but I just thought it would be cool to just have the extra utility to play along the Dominus Impulse. I don't think it really mattered, but Imperm was still good in my opinion. But I guess depending on how I feel, I could always change it out and put back the ghost spells. Moving on to my favorite card to resolve throughout the weekend, this absolutely broken card called Fallen and Virtuous. So of course we played 3 Fallen Virtuous. Fantastic spot removal, destroys any face-up monster, face-up card on the field for virtually free. Well, the cost of 2 extra deck spaces, but you know, that's kind of free to me. And then of course in tandem with the triple Forbidden Droplet and, well, the God card, Called by the Grave, Droplet, fantastic card, broken card, in tandem with this and Wanted and any other of the, going second side deck, trust package with Droplet. You know how it works and you know what it does. It was really good. It was really good. Then, of course, moving on to the extra deck. The Orca stuff was pretty standard for me. We have the boss monster Inland Gersu, the old boss monster that is still a boss, Dingersu, double Galatea OG, Galatea I, and then the Link Tree. Inland Gersu, if you don't know what it does, it's a quick effect snatch steal. Fantastic card. It sends a monster to the grave non-target when it's moved from the extra monster zone. Dingersu, great card, I think, in this format right now because it protects the board. That's very important right now. With Fallen and the Virtuous running around, MST running around, this card was so great on the day into my Radiant Typhoon matchups and other matchups. That ability to protect the board and your opponent, think they played around it, but, you say to read the card is now once per turn, right? So, double Galatea, I think is mandatory, standard. The second one did come up, so, yeah. And then Galatea I, perhaps one of the best link ones ever printed. It searches, it discards for course, it summons back itself. I don't know what more we want. Good cards is good cards, as we always say. Then, of course, mandatory link monsters. We have the 1 SP, 1 IP. Fantastic, mandatory. Not much to say. And then we have the 1 Boral Sword. Didn't use it once. I still think it's a good card, so I'll continue playing it, I think. I still think it's a good card when used correctly, to end out games and stuff like that. Then, of course, the boring stuff, the, mandatory engine requirement for the Fallen package. We have the 1 Albion, the 1 Ecclesia. Yeah, standard. Of course, the Azamina stuff now. We have the 1 Ilya Silva, the 1 Risilago, part of the combo, part of the end board. Not much to say about these great cards. A lot to say about these, I think. I think what made the deck on the day, and what the idea that made it so threatening was the Destruction, Dark Magician of Destruction, and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Absolutely fantastic. By the time I summoned this, I was already winning so much that it didn't matter. The one time I summoned this and I didn't win was against my only loss in Swiss, against the second place person, Vash. I summoned Dragoon and then he immediately super polyed it. So shout out Vash. Right? Of course, moving on to the side deck, we could start with the monsters. We have triple Retaliating Sea. Sided discarding, didn't see it, probably will change it, not too sure. Sided in against my Lunar Light and my Branded, didn't see it. Same with Gospel. I know this is a good card from personal experience. Sided it in, didn't see it, unfortunately. Perulia did side it in and did see it. Commons is probably why I see it. Got to resolve it against Radiant Typhoon in Swiss, and I think in one other matchup, if I remember correctly. And yeah, when I resolved this, it was free game. Got to draw cards that would help me, clear their board and play and whatnot. Then it wouldn't be my deck without a nice little trust package. I love to play a trust package. So we have double trust, fantastic card. Then we have the targets. We have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Lightning Storm, Talent, and then the card that won me my game, my great game in Swiss against Radiant Typhoon. eradicate an epidemic virus, actually got to resolve it, snipe 2 droplets, got to use the hand knowledge from the interaction to base my interactions that I had on board. And yeah, so that was it. That was the deck profile. Shout out to everyone at the store, VRG, all the boys, the employees, Lutch, Andre, Charlie, the final boss himself, Rishi, Aaron, who believes in me and doesn't believe in me at the same time, my testing partner, Big Michael, Arshad, for always, sourcing niche cards for me, and, being able to be on air and, let him hear my ideas and tell me if I'm foolish or not. So yeah, looking forward as we head in towards the national season, also hosted at Victory Road Gaming, and hopefully we could see more Orcust stops and more good Yu-Gi-Oh from the country as a whole. So yeah, until the next one.